Vaccines in general have saved hundreds of thousands of lives around the globe each year. However, in recent years and during this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the situation around vaccine hesitancy has become so serious that the World Health Organization has listed it amongst the top 10 threats to global health. Let's dive deeper into the conversation during the following COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy segments, presented by Holy Cross Health, Community Health and Wellbeing Department. The following program is presented by Holy Cross Health, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This episode is about vaccinations for children and teens. The CDC recommends COVID-19 vaccines for everyone 6 months and older, and boosters for everyone 5 years and older if eligible. The dosage is based on age, on the day of vaccination, not on the size or weight of the child. Welcome to EagleRadio.pro. I'm your host, DJ Jimmy P. And today we want to welcome Dr. Maria GARAY. Welcome to Eagle Radio, Doctor.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
And you are a pediatric doctor, correct?
Yes, I am a pediatrician for the Holy Cross Medical Group here in Fort Lauderdale.
I see. Okay, so there's been a lot of back and forth with the COVID vaccine and all that, but now we're going to skip ahead after all of that, and we're going to talk about, because it was recently recommended for youth. So what are the current recommendations for COVID-19 vaccines for children, and at what ages?
Yes, currently the CDC, FDA, and the American Academy of Pediatrics, we are recommending the COVID vaccine for children 6 months and older. We have approved the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine.
So there are two.
There are two vaccines approved, and we are currently recommending them.
So what is the age group?
We have the 6 months through 4 years.
Wow, 6 months.
Right. And we also have the 5 years to 11 and the 12 to 17.
So let me ask you this question that our audience is probably wondering. So we know that we've had a 1.5 year experience with adults with the vaccine. So how do they actually figure doses for children?
That's a great question. It took a longer time to determine the dosage, the safety and efficacy for these vaccines on children. Thankfully, we had clinical trials and data from adults, then older children and teens. And that's why currently we had recently the approval for the 6 months and above. The dosage and the intervals between dosages within vaccines is determined by the age of the patients.
I see. And here's a really stupid question for you. So,
not stupid.
Because I have to remember we're broadcasting to a wide range audience. So it's the same vaccine.
It is.
That the adults had. It's just that it's been tested at different dosages to find the correct. Is that accurate?
Yes. For the Pfizer vaccine, it's 1/10 of the adult dose. For the Moderna, it's half of the dose of the adult dose.
And you said there were two versions of it. We have the Pfizer one and the Moderna one, correct?
Right. The Pfizer vaccine is 3 dosages. The first
2 doses?
For the Pfizer, we have 3.
Oh, 3.
The intervals will be 3 weeks between the first and the second dose, and then between the third and the second and the third dose, it will be 2 months.
And the different dosages for the younger children, correct?
I'm talking about the 6 months and above.
Oh, the 6 months.
6 months and 4 years. There are 3 dosages of the Pfizer. For the Moderna, it's only 2 dosages.
I see.
4 weeks apart.
I see. Now, there was a third pharmaceutical company involved. with the regular COVID, are they involved in this?
No, at the moment we only have approved for
For the
the
two.
Pfizer and Moderna.
Do you think the other one might be approved, or they're not bothering, or what?
I'm not, at this
You're not
moment,
sure?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So why did it take so long for the FDA to make a decision about these vaccines for children under 5?
Because they needed the dosages and having the efficacy and safety profile of the vaccines for these younger patients.
Did children experience any side effects from the vaccine in the clinical trials?
Yes, as any other vaccines, children can get side effects from the vaccines. In general, would be pain, swelling, redness in the area, fever, feeling fatigue, some headaches and chills, some swollen lymph nodes. Younger children, sometimes there will be, a little bit of crying, sleepiness, sometimes loss of appetite with the vaccine.
And we might want to tell the audience those are possible side effects. Doesn't mean that every child will have those.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
And does the Moderna have more side effects?
In comparison, both of them can have the same profile of side effects.
So the same roughly occasionally? Because I know when I had it, I had none.
Yeah.
I had the Pfizer, all 3, and I had no side effects at all, except I got a little sleepy. But then again, I'm old, so.
It depends on how your immune system reacts to the vaccine. So.
Right. So, because there's a lot of controversy about the vaccines, in your opinion, why should children get the COVID-19 vaccine?
Well, the vaccine helps to protect you against COVID-19 infection, complications of hospitalization, and containing the spread. We give the vaccine with the hopes that if you do get exposed and get the infection, you don't end up in the hospital, or you don't end up with severe complication from it, like inflammatory, multi-system inflammatory syndrome of children. Also, sometimes they can have long-term consequences from the infection, so we try to prevent that. Also, in a social level, isolation, quarantine, and not being able to go to school can also can have a great impact in children that cannot continue with their routines.
Right. So is the COVID-19 vaccine safe?
It is safe. It has been demonstrating that it's been safe, and this is why it's been approved.
That is why, of course, it went through a rigorous.
It went through a very rigorous
clinical trial,
clinical trials, and a lot of investigation.
And actually, I would assume, I would assume that school-age children stand at more of a risk because they're isolated in like 30 groups of children. Correct?
All the population in children there are a higher risk of getting the illness, not the infection. Not only because they're in school, they're being interacting with other children that may get infected. The younger one can get also very sick, and they can get exposed to more to the infection. Now, even younger one cannot mask, and they cannot talk about symptoms. So by the time they are showing symptoms, they can spread even more to the population. So that's the challenges we have in pediatrics. Not only they are vulnerable, they can get sick, they also can spread it faster to the general population.
So let me ask you this question that I'm sure some parents are questioning this. Is this going to be, in your opinion, do you think this is going to be mandatory school vaccinations down the road? Like children have to have polio and smallpox, correct, to get into school, correct? Do you think this might be part of that down the road, or not mandated, or we don't know?
At this moment, I don't know. I don't know that will happen. That's something that will have to be discussed, but I don't think at this moment.
So right now it's voluntary.
It is, yes.
So for further information about Holy Cross on COVID, they could call 954-542-1654, which is a COVID information helpline, correct?
Yes.
And so they could get it through their physician or through. So what is the future of this? Do you think that we'll be having, I know it's a guesstimate, but what do you think is the future for COVID vaccines? Will there be like a fourth dose? Well, we don't know yet. Is it going to be similar to like flu, where every year we might have to have a booster?
It is possible. We're currently getting constant clinical trials and information regarding how the infections rise and how the virus is mutating. So that's a very good question. So I'm interested to see what the scientists have to say in the near future.
Right. So actually, for more information, parents can also go online to cdc.gov/COVID-19. And there's a whole range of information, and you can look up all of this. So before we go, actually, why don't you say a few words to our Hispanic population?
Buenos días, soy la doctora Garay. Estoy desde Holy Cross Medical Group dejándole saber a mi comunidad en español sobre la vacuna de COVID-19, COVID-19, y cómo protege a la comunidad. La Academia de Pediatría y el CDC, junto con el FDA, han recomendado la vacuna de 6 meses en adelante a los pacientes que son candidatos para obtenerla. Aquí en nuestra comunidad en Florida le estamos dejando saber que la vacuna es segura. Hay 2 vacunas aprobadas, la de Pfizer y la de Moderna. La de Pfizer tiene 3 dosis y la de Moderna tiene 2 dosis para los niños de 6 meses hasta los 4 años. De 5 a 11 años son 2 dosis. Las vacunas son seguras. Efectos secundarios de las vacunas serían fiebre, dolor en el área de inyección, dolor muscular, cansancio y a veces dolor de cabeza. Los efectos secundarios o efectos adversos de la vacuna son raros y algunos son miocarditis o pericarditis o anafilaxis o reacción alérgica severa. Esos son bien raros. Yo aquí en la comunidad estoy en la Holy Cross Medical Group en Florida para dejarles saber cualquier duda que ustedes tengan. Aquí abierto a la comunidad para comunicarnos con ustedes. Que tengan buen día.
Thank you for stopping by Eagle Radio. We appreciate it. Dr. Maria Garay, pediatrician over at Holy Cross Health. Thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you for having me.